Hello, family. I hope all is well. We're gonna discuss the indigenous Americans of the United States of America. Get right into it. Love
Black
y'all.
Americans are the Aboriginal people of this land. I had a great conversation. Y'all gonna be mad, but even Google backed me up real quick. Even though you have to bypass their narrative. But this is what we came up with. Many researchers and descendants point to the Aboriginal history of the Americas, noting that the original people encountered by early explorers were described as having dark skin and woolly hair long before the transatlantic trade. This perspective holds that original identity, the people were already here and their physical traits, dark skin, and specific hair textures were indigenous to this continent. Reclassification trap. By calling these people mixed or African in the system, it effectively stole their indigenous identity. It allowed for the government to rebrand them as immigrants, inhabitants, or descendants of slaves to justify taking the land. Google even had to clock its own T and say presence before the ice bridge. These Aboriginal communities were established in the Americas well before the period associated with the East Asian migration across the Bering Straits. So basically what you're telling me, Google, is that the people who say that they're Native Americans today, they came later even after Black people were still on the American land? Let's read a little further. The mixed label as erasure, terming these original people as having mixed heritage, as if we're African and Black Indian, which is what our original classification was under the United States government because we were prisoners of war, because there was a previous regime in place before the United States government. Keep that in mind. Terming us to have mixed heritage is an inaccurate narrative and is a tool of paper genocide, which has already been committed more than 400 years ago, used to strip them of their primary indigenous identity. So yes, if you are a Black American, news for you, this is your land. Connect with the trees and connect with nature. The more that the divine supports you, the more that nothing can be able to come against us, especially when we act in accordance with God's will collectively. And hey, Caribbeans, I have some news for you too. You might also be from the mainland, islands like Jamaica, Haiti, and a lot of the Afro-Indo-Caribbean. According to this Oklahoma Eagle article, it says tens of millions of Black Americans, or rather Indians, who disappeared after 1492 did not all die in the Holocaust inflicted within America. Every European nation that colonized North America utilized Indian slaves. And if you know anything about Black America, you would realize that Indian was originally our original classification. Yes, even people who had tight coiled hair, our original status in the United States regime was Indian. Black Americans were reclassified and renamed over 230 times from plethoras of names like American Indian, Afro-Indigenous, Indigenous American, over 200 times. And this was our status in that context. And so when they say North America utilized Indian slaves, they're speaking about Black Americans, yes, for construction, plantations, and mining on the North American continent, but more frequently in their outposts in the Caribbean and in the metropolis of Europe, meaning that these Indians were taken from the mainland of America, shipped all around the West Indies and to Europe, back to Africa and back to America, which would leave room for some Africans potentially to be in the American transatlantic slave trade, please excuse. But the majority of the people, especially those that had worked on the mainland, are indigenous Americans, Black indigenous Americans, Aboriginal people of the United States of America. So if you are seeing this and you are feeling it in your soul that yes, this is my identity, this is your sign to connect with the divine, connect with God, connect with your nature, and allow yourself to sit in your identity of someone who is literally native to the land that you are standing on right now.
Where are Black Americans from? Come on.
Okay, so you may have heard people say that Black people, Black Americans, are the blueprint. And in fact, Black Americans are the blueprint. You may have seen the old maps that show all of the ancient civilizations in America, all of them. All of the countries, all of the empires began in America before they expanded to other lands. And we were connected, a collective consciousness, a global connection. Now, what's important to know is that certain groups of people are stewards of the land. They were given codes by God to be shepherds or stewards of the land. And so Black Americans have the codes to America. Now, this is one of the many ways that we know that melanated Indigenous Americans, Black Americans are from America and not Africa. Now, as more of us wake up, as more of us continue to remember who we are able to access or restore our soul template. We are able to restore the earth, and we're able to restore the land. So I am starting a community, carbon community. If you are following me and you're inspired by what you're hearing, if you, it's not just a community, this is a movement, okay? It's gonna be big, this is massive. And in 2026, we are waking up, remembering who we are, taking back our power, taking back our authority. If this is something that you're interested in, leave the comment carbon in the comment section, and I will send you a link to join the community when it's set up. Or if you want, you can go to my bio. There's a link to get on my newsletter, and I send out a newsletter. I try to do it at least once a month.
Now let's look at this together. Black, by the census definition, is a person having origins in any of the Black racial groups of Africa. The 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship, says that all Black people were born in America. You can't be born in America and be born in Africa. So the 14th Amendment already contradicts this statement. Let's go on to see what it says. African Americans, Kenyans, Nigerians, or Haitians. Kenya and Nigeria is definitely in Africa. You know, African Americans were all born on American soil because of the baby follows the belly law and the 14th Amendment. So that means from 1662 till 1865, you know we are all born on American soil. And Haitians, Haiti is on the American continent. So why is the United States adding them to their census as people of the racial group of Africa? So these are the true American Indians. If you want to take their land by law, you have to say they have no interest in the soil and claim they're from somewhere else.
I don't know who this is going to piss off, and I frankly don't care. I am not African. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being African. I'm not saying that I have a fear of being African. I'm simply stating the fact that my people, my ancestors, have been in America for a very long time. I am a Black American. I am not an African American. We don't even look the same. We just so happen to have Black American features. We are all copper-colored people. Yes, there are some light-skinned Africans. Yes, there are some dark-skinned Americans, but we are all not from the same place. And us recognizing that is not as being disrespectful to anyone's lineage, culture, ethnicity, or race. I have yet to see a Black American be disrespectful, but I have seen Africans come on this app and be completely disgusting, threaten us, call us all out of our names simply because we are acknowledging the fact that we are all not from the same place. I don't understand why it upsets you so much or why it would bother you, but we are all not African. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Original Black Americans, Sulan Adas, and Foundational Black Americans, let's do a trend. Where are your ancestors from? Mine are from Georgia
Like,
and Virginia.
share, and subscribe.